Welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. Guys, what is there to say? Your New Jersey Devils finally back in the postseason, headed to Raleigh for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals against the Carolina Hurricanes, a team many of us hate with a passion, a team that has owned us in the playoffs historically for the past 20 or so seasons. And Game 1 was a disaster. Your New Jersey Devils fall by a final score of 4-1. A lot to get to, just a painful game. But overall, I mean, wow, nearly your worst fear realized, right? I mean, it was almost as ugly as it could have been, and we looked like the team that the entire world was picking against. We really did. If it wasn't for Nico's goal, we would have been shut out, but we were certainly outplayed, outmanned. Get to the game. The first couple shifts, I was ecstatic. The heavier, edgier, more violent Devils were out. You could see everyone looking to finish their hits on those first couple shifts. The Canes as well, just the bodies were flying, guys doing everything they can. This is the playoffs, putting it all on the line, and it didn't take long at 2:24 with some traffic in front. Chatfield gives the Hurricanes the 1-0 lead, and after that, it just seemed like, the Devils were a bit deflated, constantly chasing, playing from behind. We all know this Devils team plays much better with the lead. The first goal was going to be huge in this one. The Hurricanes get it. And the Devils never recovered. First period ends 1-0 Canes, and the Devils were manhandled in that first period. There is no way to, there's no other way to put it. Hurricanes with 17 shots in the period, the Devils only mustering 5. I mean, brutal stuff. We easily could have been down more than 1-0 if it wasn't for Jacob Markstrom. And again, Markey, we all knew had to be our best player in the series, and so far he has been. Gave us a chance to win. The team didn't do much in front of him, but outshot 17-5 in the first period. Terrible. Lucky to only be down 1-0 after the first. Head to the second, and that next goal was going to be crucial. Devils couldn't get it. Stankoven scores at 6:37, gives them the 2-0 lead. And then a little under 7 minutes later on the power play at 13:08, he gives them the 3-0 lead. And at that point, the game was over. I mean, 3-0 with about 7 minutes left in the second. I mean, in the playoffs against the Hurricanes in Raleigh, that's lights out, game over. Better luck next time. Late in the period, Nico Hischier did give the Devils some life. Nice little snipe shot from Nico at 18:51 cuts the Hurricanes' lead to 3-1. That's how the second period would end, and the Devils were thoroughly dominated in that second period as well. Outshot by a 21-8 margin. I mean, we knew the offense was pretty bad for a lot of this calendar year, 2025, and we have struggled to generate offense, and obviously without Jack, et cetera, et cetera. But in the end, getting outshot by these margins is painful. So through 2 periods, the Devils had 13 shots on goal, and the Hurricanes had 38. I mean, this was just an absolute clinic. Devils head to the third period, down 3-1. Couldn't get anything really of substance in the third period. Svechnikov adds one late on the empty net, gives the Canes the 4-1 lead. That is how the game would end, and this one was brutal. Really brutal. Put a damper on the Easter holiday. Really, really gross performance. I was really hoping we would see a much better effort from the Devils, but here we are. This is why most of the hockey world was picking against us. I would say roughly 80% of all the pundits and talking heads out there picked the Hurricanes to win the series. And I'll be perfectly honest, if I was not a New Jersey Devils fan, with my red-colored glasses, if I didn't live life looking at everything, including the series, through the lens of the red-colored New Jersey Devils glasses, and I was just a hockey fan or a fan of another team, I certainly would have picked the Hurricanes as well. But in my heart of hearts, I can never do that to the boys. I'm always going to pick them in a series like this. But, we looked like the team that everyone said we were going into this playoffs. Terrible outing. We get to the game stats. Devils, 24 shots on goal. The Hurricanes with 45. And they kind of sat back a little bit in that third period. They only had 7 shots in the third. But 24 shots on goal for the Devils, 45 for the Hurricanes. Devils 60.6% in the faceoff circle. Love to see that stat. It didn't mean much in the end, but wow. 60.6 for the Devils, 39.4% for the Hurricanes. Special teams. We said this was going to be a big factor in the series. Devils have had great special teams, both power play and penalty kill all season long, and they didn't show up in Game 1. Devils 0 for 2 on the power play, and the Hurricanes go 1 for 3 on the power play. We lose the battle of the special teams, and hopefully we can get that kind of fixed up for Game 2 because it's going to be big once again. Devils with 52 hits. Love to see the hits. Unfortunately, none of them really led to anything of substance. But 52 hits for the Devils, 41 for the Hurricanes. This is playoff hockey. Nearly 100 hits, 93 hits combined between the two teams. Devils with 13 block shots, the Hurricanes with 16 block shots. Devils with 12 giveaways, the Hurricanes with 14 giveaways. Devils with 2 takeaways, and the Canes with 0 takeaways. A painful one in Raleigh for your New Jersey Devils. Obviously, Lukehughes gets injured. It looked pretty bad. He returned later on. Hopefully, he is good to go for Game 2. Obviously, if we are without Lukehughes, I would say that would probably be the final nail in the coffin. Being that we're already without Jack Hughes and Siegenthaler, I do think, with the lineup we have right now, we would not be able to sustain Lukehughes missing any time. So hopefully he is good to go for Game 2. Brendan Dillon also injured in this one. Supposedly he tried to come back in the game, but the training staff held him out. So hopefully we see Dillon in Game 2. If Dillon misses time and we have to replace him with either a Shimo Nemitz or Casey, that could be problematic. I do think inexperienced defensemen will get eaten alive in this series with the Canes. They are relentless on that forecheck, and man, they're a battle-tested team, guys. I'm not surprised, honestly. I'm more disappointed than anything in the overall outcome of this game and the way it played out. But, I was hoping if we were to lose Game 1, which I do believe was a very, very crucial Game 1, I hoped it was a more competitive battle and we didn't get steamrolled. But here we are, down 0-1 in the series. They were steamrolled, and they're going to have a lot of soul-searching to do before Game 2. A lot. Cody Glass also injured. Jacob Markstrom with a pretty ferocious slash trying to keep his crease clean, and he accidentally hits Glass. Glass left. Not sure what his status is. If he has to miss any time, then it's next man up. We have a abundance, I would say, of bottom 6 guys, and so it's going to be the next man up. Have to throw someone else out there. But overall, it was just a discouraging game, honestly. The effort was not there. The intensity was not there. Some careless, mistakes. Getting a too many men on the ice penalty, brutal. We've seen, I feel like, a bunch of those throughout the season. Those just cannot happen. We saw a delay of game when Mercer was feeling the heat and went to clear the puck and just flipped it up, over the glass, gets a delay of game. And so you just see these things that need to be cleaned up. The margin for error is non-existent, really. You cannot make mistakes, especially in Raleigh, against this Hurricanes team that is sharp and is on top of their game. Too many men and a delay of game is painful, and it is what it is. They are going to need to be much better in Game 2. And Jacob Markstrom, quite frankly, was the only reason this game was even 4-1, honestly. He gave up 3 goals. The 4th was the empty net. Without Markey, I feel like the Hurricanes could have easily scored 5 or 6, if not more. Markstrom made a lot of great saves earlier on in the game to keep the Devils in it when it was still, a couple-goal game. And in the end, his performance was for naught. The team did nothing in front of him, struggling once again to generate offense, and another just, sorry game to watch as a New Jersey Devils fan. I am pretty disgusted overall with the game. At this point, I just hope they can make it a series. I did pick them to win the series. I expected a much better effort, even in losing games. But it is what it is. A total domination. Nearly doubled in shots, 45-24. I mean, wow. And really thinking about it, how many great saves did Freddie Anderson really have to make? I can't even think of one, honestly. Our best chance that resulted in a save was the Timo chance, and it was more of a bad shot by Timo than a great save by Anderson. I mean, credit to Anderson for making the save, but it wasn't like this miraculous save he had to make. Just brutal stuff. You got to at least really test the goaltender, and we failed to do that. The power plays didn't look great. It's just one of those games where hopefully the team could get it out of their mind and really improve for Game 2, because Tuesday night is a massive one. And you all know how I feel about using the term must win. In the playoffs, nothing is a must win until you've already lost 3 games. When you're facing elimination, those are all must wins. This is a gotta win. You gotta win, because obviously, no rocket science here, going down 0-2 in the series to the Hurricanes is all but over. I mean, let's be real. To go down 0-2 would mean you'd have to win 4 out of the next 5. Not very likely. With 2 of them being in Carolina, not very likely at all. And so this team has to play like their season is on the line Tuesday night, because it nearly is. You cannot afford to come back to the Rock in an 0-2 hole. Winning Game 2 makes a world of a difference. Coming back to the Rock tied at 1, that's all you really were hoping for realistically. I mean, obviously everyone wanted to be up 2-0 after the first 2 in Raleigh. But being realistic, everyone would be thrilled with the split. You get that split in Raleigh and then come back to the Rock. Now we got a series. And so the series is far from over. I know a lot of people have been dooming and, we're going to get killed and it's going to be a sweep. Things could change from game to game. Obviously, the Devils were down 0-2. Very different circumstances, both with the team we were and the team we were playing. But the Devils went down 0-2 to the Rangers, and the Devils were the home team for the first 2 games in the 2023 playoffs, and you saw how that ended up with Schmid playing the hero. But very different circumstances, obviously. But anything could happen from game to game. Hopefully this team finds a way to wake up, generate more offense. Hopefully Markstrom is sharp again in the next one, but they got to clean up a lot of stuff. The careless penalties cannot happen. You got to try to keep the crease a little bit cleaner, with all the traffic, and, it's just a lot. And they just come in waves, and they throw shots from everywhere. They could overwhelm you, and they did it to the Devils in Game 1. We were completely overwhelmed, and a hard-fought win for the Hurricanes. Tip of the cap to them. There's nothing you could say. They play a very good game, well coached, have a lot of dogs in the lineup, and they got the win. The Devils, now we're going to see what they're made of. How do you respond in Game 2? Come out, throw the body again, 52 hits. That's might be the only slight silver lining for me in this entire game, was the hit total and the play of Jacob Markstrom. We're going to need both of those elements back in Game 2, plus a lot more to get a win. Hopefully they could draw more than 2 penalties. 3 or 4 power plays in a game would be beautiful. Hopefully to score 1 or 2 on those chances. But special teams got to be better. The whole team's got to be better. Cannot make the careless mistakes. Carolina will capitalize. And that's it. So Tuesday night is completely massive. Will they come home to the Rock down 0-2 looking for a miracle? Or will they come home tied at 1 in the midst of an absolute battle of a series? We knew it wasn't going to be easy. Carolina's been a very good team for a very long time. And as we know, the New Jersey Devils have struggled for pretty much all of calendar year 2025. And so gut check time. How does your New Jersey Devils respond after this brutal loss? How do they respond? What do they look like in Game 2? The building in Raleigh is going to be absolutely just insanity. The building looked like it was bonkers for Game 1, and it's going to be even more bonkers for Game 2. They smell blood in the water. And again, no surprise here. What is going to be the key to that one? Score the first goal, and hopefully early. No more sleepy first periods. Another sleepy first period for this Devils team, something we've seen throughout the regular season where they just kind of go through the motions in the first and then kind of wake up in the second and third period. They got to come out on fire immediately. First goal is going to be massive in Game 2. And if the Devils could get it early in the first and silence that crowd and put Carolina on their heels a little bit, anything could happen. But on the flip side, if the Devils give up the first goal in Game 2, I think it's going to be a long night for the boys. I think the building is just going to be even more of a just complete zoo. And it's going to fuel them to get the job done. Devils got to score first in Game 2. It's crucial. Got to get it done. Got to find a way. Curious to see if Keefe changes any of the line combinations to start the game. Later in the game yesterday, he did shuffle a little bit. I'm curious to see, does he go into Game 2 with the same lines he went into Game 1 with, or does he start the game with slightly different line combos? I suppose we'll see maybe some more information come out later today about some of these things, including the injuries as well. Overall, it was a very disappointing game, obviously. I am not writing the team off just yet. It's one game, obviously. Very discouraging result, and the game looked troubling from many different angles, I would say. But it is only one game. First team to win 4 games, and so how does this Devils team respond in Game 2? I am hoping for a much better effort, and hopefully, a lot of things come together. But it's going to start with generating more quality scoring chances because there was not a lot of them, obviously, in Game 1. Got to get way more quality scoring chances in Game 2. Got to try to stay out of the box. Got to try to draw penalties, and special teams has to show up, whether that is the power play or the penalty kill. Both got to be better. And we'll see how that looks in Game 2. Curious to see how these guys respond. This is some real adversity that matters now. There is no more, these are meaningless games and we're going through the motions. You guys all know I didn't like that whole approach, but many teams took it, including the Hurricanes, who went stumbling into the playoffs as well. Their record was atrocious. But they've been a good team throughout the year, and they were able to turn it on. Obviously, it probably helped that they're playing a Devils team that is not great. It is what it is. But they turned it on. The intensity was there, and it showed. They played like they wanted to win. They got the win, and now the Devils must respond. It's only one game. I'm not writing them off, but Game 2 is huge. Should they falter in Game 2, then I would say the series is over. They go down 2-0. It's not going to be a good outcome. It could be a very quick series. But, wow. Painful one. Painful one. Shout out to everyone that came out to the post-game live. It was pretty miserable. I kept it pretty short, considering I was just in a bad mood, in a food coma from Easter. Not a lot of good things to talk about, and so it was fairly short. But shout out to everyone that came out for that. If you're not familiar, I do a post-game live show after MSG goes off the air, after every game. If you're interested in checking that out, put the link in the description. I go through all the comments, and we just talk about the game and yada, yada. But, wow, painful one. Link in description for the post-game live, and I will be doing one after every game for the rest of the season. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I know a lot of you are at an all-time low right now. The dooming is going to be bad. A lot of Devils fans just completely throwing their hands in the air and are fed up with the season, and I understand why. It has been just a very tumultuous season. High highs, low lows, a roller coaster of a season. I've talked about this many times. At times, they looked like a great team. The team that was setting the NHL record in December for 7 consecutive games, only allowing their opponent 20 shots or less on goal. I mean, where is that team? Where is that team? 45 shots on goal last night is an absolute just, wow, 45 shots. I mean, I know they're a good team that gets a lot of shots up, but 45 is just way too many. I mean, wow. But curious to see what you guys think about the game. Let me know what you thought about anything I said or this game in the comments. Anything, everything, New Jersey Devils hockey, you just throw it out there in the comments. I enjoy talking to all of you. But this one stings. This one stings. It's going to kind of linger on throughout the day until we get back at it tomorrow night. Tuesday night in Raleigh, Game 2. It is going to be a massive one, and I hope they could bring the pain. Bring the pain, score the first goal, take the crowd out of it, and respond. Find a way to claw to a victory and come back to the Rock tied at 1. World of a difference being down 0-2 or 1-1. They come back to the Rock 1-1. Game 3, the building is going to be electric. Coming into the Rock 0-2, it's still going to be a playoff home game, but it will not have the same juice in the building that it would if it was 1-1. 1-1 is we got a series now. 0-2 is like we need a miracle. Very big difference. And it's all contingent on the crucial Game 2. Let me know in the comments, guys, which Devils team is going to show up in Game 2. Is it going to be the same team that got dog-walked in Game 1? Or is it going to be a team that's like, you know what, we don't want our season to end yet, and we're gonna fight for it? I'm so curious. But throw it all out there in the comments. I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say, / dread looking towards what some of you have to say, because I already know it's just going to be nothing but negativity and whatever. But I get it. I mean, after a game like this and a season like we had, I'm expecting all of it. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I expect it. I understand the nature of the human fans and people's emotions, and it's been a long, tough season, and that game was brutal. But throw it all out there in the comments. I'll be back soon. Always got things in the works. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.